Let's try to do this. Welcome to whoever's here. I only have one monitor today, so hopefully I can keep up with chat. We'll see. Okay, so to start off with, we probably just need to go and add the migrations for these two. What is it? 8. Yep. ID, like guild ID, member, guild ID should probably just be above member ID. Member, guild ID, member ID, highest count. And you can just be a int. What are we using for these? Integer. We don't need a date on you. Same thing if a server count. Hopefully all the audio's good this time. So for this we want the same thing, we also want current count. We could do a cull, not null. Default 2. And we can just default this to 0. Same thing here. And then as soon as they start counting, that'll go to 1. This also means we can technically add a server without a count, and it wouldn't affect min settings or like high scores and stuff. If we drop this, drop table. Let's just drop both those tables if we do it down. We probably also want these added as well. So this would also need a... What are we using for dates? Date time. And this would be you, Snake. What do you default to? No, none of you guys have a default. Actually, that doesn't even have to have a default. It can just be like this because it technically could be not unset because it might not have reset. Same thing here with the varchar 36. Okay.
Hello, chess noob.
Welcome. Hopefully everything's showing up on the stream properly. Streamceptions. Hello, welcomes. Okay, so there's the migration added. We've added it to the database. Probably still need pasta, but we won't need this. So we can just get it from the database. And now everything breaks. Woo! Okay. Actually, let's not even abstract that yet. Instead of, what's some advice? What's your advice on this? On ready, we don't even need any of that anymore.
Oh, you want some advice? Okay. Just passed out of high school, want to pursue a career in computer science. What would you recommend to get ahead of my classmates? I would honestly say go look at committing stuff to like open source repos. Honestly, that's like the biggest thing. I would not be as good of a developer as I am now if I hadn't been doing open source stuff for years. And you don't even have to do anything really big. Just go onto GitHub, look for good first contribute or something like that. There's like a bunch of tags you can find. There's a few repos that even have like the different tags listed. Find those, go read through what the issue is, try and fix it, push the code. You'll find you'll come up to real world issues a lot quicker doing this than you will any other way. And I honestly feel like that gives you a one up on almost everybody anytime. Because like, okay, look at this, right? I've never written Rust before. What are we looking for? Rusty logs. Don't know that much about coding. What would be go-to language?
I would say look at a bunch of languages and find one that you feel looks good to you. I know that sounds weird, but you will find a language most of the time that when you write it, it will make sense, and you look at other languages and go, these are nice, but there's still something missing from them. For me, I've never written Rust before. I started learning Rust this morning, like a few hours in. I now have a full program to process logs. I only got to this point because I've been doing coding for as long as I have. But you also notice this looks very different than normal Rust code. This looks more like TypeScript because that's the language I normally use, and personally I feel TypeScript for me works really well. Other people will find Python works really well, maybe Perl works really well. It just depends. So Python versus C++, again, that also depends because like what level of programming do you want to be at? Do you want to be at something super low level? Do you want to be at a higher level? You've got web languages, you've got language that can be compiled down to assembly, you've got languages that are in between, you've got interpreted languages, compiled languages. Hey Brody. Yeah, you could do Golang, you could do Rust, you could do Python, Perl. Like it just depends. Like you could write assembly if you want, you could write WebAssembly if you want. Everybody's gonna have their little thing that just fits them, you know? Okay, so okay, I'm just going to quickly write this and then I'll respond to whoever's saying anything. I was trying to HRC, so I didn't learn shit. What do you mean you didn't learn shit? Like, it just... What are you doing when you're trying these? And what are you meaning by you didn't... Because
that really doesn't make much sense. You've tried some languages, you didn't learn anything.
The fact that you're coming here and asking about stuff means you learned something, obviously. You learned that you didn't like them, I guess. And like maybe you learn more visually, maybe something like Scratch where you're using building blocks would make a little bit more sense to you, at least to start with. It also depends on like how far through learning coding you are.
If you're at the point where you still don't understand what variables are, then yeah,
Start with something like Scratch. You're going to have a lot less of an issue.
but if you're at the point where
You know how to program stuff, you know the logic of how stuff works, but you just aren't getting the hang of the language, then just
try different languages till you find one that works.
there's new ones being thought up every second day at this point. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this added. Why you... No, that's wrong. What did I do wrong? You need to be added as this. I wonder if the camel case plugin actually converts that, curiously.
Choose TS.
Choose TS every time. Bet on TS. Bet on JS in general. Let's take first. Du-du-du. This also needs to be looked at from the server details, I guess. Or actually, there probably should be like another channel, another table that has all the counting channels for that server and their highest count.
We're gonna have to redo those
Migrations, I guess. Now I don't want... okay, yeah, now I don't want that on the server count. Now I want that on like the server counter table. God dang it. I could just rename this, I guess, and change some of the details. We'll see. Okay. Back to this. So, if this is not equal to... take first. What do we want from there? We probably just want current count where... Do we have guild ID? Okay, so... Actually, we could just fall back to 0. Let's do that because we can do the checkup later, up the top. So if we can do that, and then we can just go instead of this, count. What we probably should do is pull the highest count out of here. And then just return. Oh. And then actually we don't need highest this also might race condition, so let's not do that. Let's undo this. Okay, I've got a better idea. Instead of that, let's grab a... How do we grab EB from set? Does this give us EB? That's like the first... It does! Whoop whoop. Okay, so... No, it's not what I want to do. Oh, I know what I can do. I'll just do a transaction. That'll work. Guild. Oh, that should be called guild, not server. Okay, so you highest count. What we actually need to do at the start is that's right, because we're in different contexts, this technically could be unassigned again. That is the stupidest thing. I wonder if message.guild ID is just fully defined by default. Maybe we can... Oh, that might also have the same issue. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Execute. Take first. So I wanted math. So that'll reset the current, and that'll set to either the new max or the old max. That's better. So now it should just be this. Last member, that'll come from here. Oh. There should be... This should also be set up here. Okay, so let's go set this. Let's go set that to now. Oh, so last member and last reset member both have to be set. I forgot about them. Okay. Yeah, let's call this build count. For counting, guild count. Yeah, I think counting is a better idea. Guild messages, guild counting. Yep. Do we have members in here? Oh, guild members. Guild member stats. Guild member counting. Yep. Let's use that naming scheme. So it'll do a little sorty sort. Yeah, I much prefer that. So guild counting, guild member counting. So let's go last member IP. Okay. So last member, this will come from... Yeah, let's just change this. Bias count. So that gets us that. Actually, that's not even what we want to get. We want to actually get last member ID. Let's subtract this. We want a guild ID, member ID, highest count, and the current count. Oh, highest count gets called in there anyway, so we don't actually even need you. Oh, and perfect. I got all the things correct. So pass in guild ID, member ID, count. And we can do the same thing here. And then here, basically have to do the same type of thing as this. DB. And then we want to set current count to be expression builder. BXP, I believe. Yes. Current count plus 1. Oh, that's what we should add. We should add step. Because step might be 1 or it might be 5, depending on what it is. That'll be how many they're counting by. So these here should be undefined or null. Should reset them. I've got them set as undefined, but I'm pretty sure these are all null. Yep. Message, author, ID. Clear the resets. Actually, we don't need to clear the resets. So got this exposed, so we can just boop. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go check on food. I'll be back in a hot minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, well, I think we're good. Oh, you know what? We don't want to use update calls. We want to use insert into on duplicate key update. Values. What am I missing? Guild ID needs to be defined. Yeah. And then we want the same thing for down here. Is that the only other place? Yeah. Now, the reason we want this is if we don't have this, then it won't update ones that don't exist. It won't auto-create those for us. We should probably also update the user when we do this.
I'll come back to that because I want to have something where, like, if the user gets
It's a new high school, we also do something. You know what? I might call the stream here for now and go eat my food. So, good stream, guys. I have an ending stream.